Yeah. So to continue, we were speaking about starseed children and what changes they would make in our society. Some more points you would like to add, and how this
Yeah,
would affect the global scale.
yeah. Honestly, I can see our starseed children changing, especially when it comes to Aquarian type themes, like astrology is one of them. So selfishly, I'm gonna
That's okay.
say that I can see that becoming a lot more mainstream. I think that could also come with Pluto and Pisces, which we'll talk a little bit about too. These types of things becoming more mainstream, like we were talking about, like meditation and Reiki and yoga and like astrology and hidden philosophies. And it will be interesting depending on what truths are revealed to us. And then there's also going to be changes in religion and faith. So I can really see our star seeds coming in and changing up the game when it comes to, obviously, like I said, like how we connect and what it really means to be a community, and this, involvement with tech and AI in our lives. But it's quite unknown. Like, it does go beyond prediction as well when it comes to our star seeds. And what I think for sure is that I think that they are so wise and so like each generation seems to be more evolved, right? So they might they're going to bring some new awareness that is going to definitely change things up, that might be even a little bit scary, but is necessary. So I think as parents, some of the important things you can do is really learning your child's birth chart and trying to understand them on an astrological level, so you understand more of what their individual mission is here. We all come here with a purpose. We come here with our own wounds and flaws and uniqueness. So understanding your child that way can be really beneficial for you as a parent.
Hmm. Absolutely. Nice one. And yeah, so going ahead with the last question related to Pluto and Aquarius is, what are the positive benefits with Web3 technology, which is at a very nascent stage right now?
Yeah, so I guess I have a question for you and what you consider Web3 technology. Is this like having a more, or I should say, like less control from tech giants and more connection online? Or are you thinking more in terms of AI and surveillance and stuff like that?
Okay. I'm looking at Web3 technology as many more apps, uh, different applications coming in, which could help benefit from a earning or financial point of view, or more outreach and more cleaner technology. Because even
Mm.
AI algorithms, I see it's not really in benefit of humanity. Like, a lot of dark stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
We with
Yeah.
Web3 we need a more cleaner um, use of applications, apps on phones and all of
Right. I can see, like, I feel like that was a big part of Pluto and Capricorn, because right at the beginning of Pluto and Capricorn, or just before when Pluto was in Sagittarius, we were starting to get these social media sites, I think like Facebook and stuff like that. And Pluto went into Capricorn, and it really it showed like the darker agenda for sure. So I feel like we'll be transforming our social media and our apps to the way that it was intended to be. I can see that happening for sure. Um, After maybe the crossover years will just bring out more truths about it. I know we've had a lot of changes when it comes to social media. Like it really blew up with Pluto and Capricorn, but like I said, it really got taken over by like a darker agenda, and that's going to change with Pluto in Aquarius. It has to. Aquarius is for the people, and it is here to serve humanity, and we are going to take our power back that way. It's interesting when you think about like apps and finances. That's something that I haven't thought a lot about yet when it comes to Pluto in Aquarius. There's some other astrological transits that could assist with that. But first, again, I feel like that rough stage coming first.
Like, for
But
example, like for YouTube now, people already are familiar with BitChute, Rumble, and many such applications coming. So one thing, like YouTube has branched out into so many other applications. So, yeah, I asked in that way. More such
yeah.
opportunities.
So yeah, sorry. So you're wondering about like newer ones forming out like
Yeah, looks like
um
that. Yeah.
more branches.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's your perspective on that? That is what I saw in last 2 years. Like, where is this going? Uh, yeah, but too much tech can again cause disconnection from the real world, natural world. So it has
Mm,
its pros and cons.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and Aquarius is all about innovation, so I could definitely see like I think like the technological advancements are going to be pretty interesting over the next 20 years. So obviously expect to see a complete change and new innovations when it comes to how we connect through social media and different apps. Yeah, that's going to change for sure. There's going to be how do I want to word it? Like I was saying before, like getting back to humanity's best interest, but at the same time, there's going to be changes um, in our finances and the way we function, and like you said, taking things offline as well. So that's something that's completely unpredictable, but I do see a transit coming up in 2024 that could give a lot of power back to people when it comes to um, finances and money.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how it'll be when it comes to apps, but yeah, that's something interesting to think about. That is obviously a positive, and more decentralization obviously is something that would be the positive side, and having like an increased social equity between groups of people, because it's not like that right now. A
Yeah.
lot of there's still a lot of poverty that we're experiencing, and that needs to change as well. Like we can't continue on with this higher evolution for humanity and have such an imbalance when it comes to money, and so many humans suffering. And the last time Pluto was in Aquarius back in the 18th century, we had revolutions all over. We had the American Revolution, we had the French Revolution, we had like the Haitian Revolution. Yeah, so obviously people are going to rise up, and money's going to change. But yeah, I'm not sure that I could really say exactly what to expect from apps. I'm not like in the tech world that much myself. I'm kind of in my bubble of astrology and like holistic living. And I do appreciate the fact that you said like taking things offline and living in the real world. That's a huge wake up call, and something we need to do and consider when we're starting these online businesses, and tech and government control, and then wanting to just like take that away from us, is that you do have to build a community offline as well.
I think the
So
physical world, the physical material thing, yeah, that is our
mhm.
primary focus. I think Web3,
Yeah.
yeah, that's an added advantage if the outreach is
Yes.
good
Yeah.
and decent. Yeah, without, again, all this authoritarian control and stuff like that. Because there is a trap at every point with all that is going on. And then first it's like, okay, this is beneficial, and then trap. This could be beneficial, this application is beneficial, but then again, something related to privacy or data is extracted out of you. So that is where
Yeah.
it's like two steps ahead, it's like one step ahead, two steps back. So that is what I'm feeling, what could come.
Well, yeah, and look at how many people fell for stuff during the pandemic, right? So when it comes to AI and tech, like absolutely, there's people out there who want to be chipped. And for maybe someone like you and me, like we're just like shaking
Out
our
in
heads
the
at it, but
woods.
yeah. Yeah.
And I was devastated after looking at one of the videos where it's about manufacturing of sex robots and all. It really caused a lot of pain. Like I could not take that fact. Like things have gone way out of hand, and they are like, it is again, normalizing the criminal activities, the pedophilic activities,
Yes.
where sex robots representing a 13-year-old or a 15-year-old. So I think that's where women have to just once and for all come together, dismantle certain technology which is going way against dharma, values. I think, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that will definitely, I can see that all ramping up with this transit with Pluto into Aquarius. And you said it exactly, that people need to rise up, women need to rise up, and that's going to be the shift, is when people, um, you know, when they realize what they want and they take their power back. Pluto is about empowerment and power. So it's how, like, what are you willing to take, who are you allowing to take your power? It's going to be, like we said, about shadow work and realizing that kind of stuff, and it can't remain hidden, so it's going to be uncomfortable for a lot. But yeah, no, that's obviously unacceptable when you're living in your divine feminine. So yeah, more people who speak out on that, obviously the better. And there's going to be people who go for that stuff, like I said, like look how many people fell for the stuff in the pandemic. So you can only put so much of your energy into those certain, you know,
Yeah.
crimes against humanity. But yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of awareness required. So, yeah, I mean, where do you draw a line with AI and technology and all that? So, that becomes, I think that's going to be a huge question in coming years, at least 2025, 26. By then, people should be like blown away by what's happening, rest of the rest of the collective. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, right.
Because this is totally unacceptable when it's about kids or basic values, basic family values. Yeah, at least by then it should be like a
Right.
nuclear
That was the
effect.
main spark of my spiritual awakening, was children and my son. So, of course, that's gonna wake up a lot of women. And yeah, where do we draw the line, right? Where, like, I think over this transit, we're really going to be asking that question on, what is our, what are we as a human? What is our consciousness? And what are they doing to us? How are they experimenting on us and with our DNA and with our consciousness? So it's gonna come up for sure.
Yeah, yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
Going ahead with our next set, about a little ahead. That is Pluto in Pisces 2044, 2045, and beyond. Yeah, so I'm keeping, yeah, I'm combining two questions here. Effects of Pluto in Pisces from 2044. How is it going to unfold on a global scale, on world stage? And what are the societal changes you see that will start unveiling itself?
Right. So again, this is
It could be a
uh,
little early, probably. It could be 2040, 2043, and then it starts showing its effect.
right. Yeah, around 2043, we'll get a glimpse of it too, just like we're getting in 2023 with Pluto and Aquarius. And then, yeah, I think it's Pluto and Pisces, I think is there until like 2067 or 2068. So, yeah, this is definitely into the future. And
Longer.
it's pretty on brand since we're talking about Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about the future and like what we want for the future. And Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So, this is major endings before it resets and goes back into Aries. And Pisces is a sign of spirituality, mysticism, transcendence, compassion, universal love.
Mm.
When Pluto is in Aquarius, the political systems probably are going to become so corrupt, or they are. It's a lot of it is behind the scenes unraveling. That the common man will rise up. This is where we seem to be heading, or we hope that the common man will rise up against the tyranny of the plutocrats ruling, our countries and corporations. Some sort of revolution hopefully will happen during Pluto and Aquarius, and Pluto and Pisces will reveal then the urgent need for healing, like I was mentioning before when we were talking, to the massive suffering on this planet. Yeah, that is a huge
Yes,
conversation.
right. And with Pluto in Pisces, this just came right now. Um, would it be like over the time, a lot of these religion-based groups which talk about spirituality, but it is really not that, and then it is going to be a absolute um, disappointment with such leaders, gurus, and things like that. So, how do you see
Yep,
that
yep.
panning out
Yeah, that's definitely part
towards
of
religion
Pluto and Pisces.
and all of that?
hmm So many spiritual teachers and mystics will become prominent probably during Pluto and Pisces. New technologies that arise in Pluto and Aquarius will probably bring out, you know, some new like digital even artists, because Pisces is all about art and like great works of art. There's some things there to be considered when it comes to positive things in technology, but when it comes to Pluto and Pisces and like the more spiritual teacher and the gurus, yeah, that's happening for sure. Some people will probably start becoming shamans, and then a new universal sense of God, I imagine, will arise, challenging the authority of traditional religions, such as Christianity and Islam. So definitely, like Pisces is more one, right? So I think we're gonna get a little taste, because Saturn is going into Pisces in March. So on March 7th, Saturn is starting its transit in Pisces. And I do think this is going to start people questioning religions and toxic spirituality, like you mentioned,
Hmm.
um, for
It's more
sure. But yeah,
patriarchal.
into the future.
Yeah, the kind of
Yeah.
religion, be it even ancient Indian culture, this wasn't like in my dream state in meditation. I came across a vision where this wasn't the situation in ancient times. The way Indian
Mm,
culture is perceived, like the way it is being done nowadays, it wasn't that. It was like I still remember that glimpse where like a witness, like a woman is the home administrator, and she gives the ideas and intuitive channel messages to the man who is working at the agricultural field. So this is not
wow.
about a woman uh, showing control over a man, but that there was a very good understanding, and I can't forget that vision.
Mhm.
So that told a lot about the way, even in Indian tradition, the way the festivals are done. Like there's so much of excessive splurge of money for everything, hype around every festival. But that same money
Yeah.
could have been used to, build homes or feed people who are less fortunate. So I see that. Um, I think it is time even Indians start questioning the way culture is, portrayed these days.
Mhm.
It's more of capitalistic way of doing.
Yes. Yeah, it's interesting that you brought up your vision. I've listened to some like readings of those have who have been like hypnotized and brought back to, ancient lifetimes, and like how you're saying, like, no, it wasn't the way it is now. Obviously it's so corrupt, and that we spent a lot more time manifesting and living in more of a united, peaceful way. So Pluto and Pisces, I hope, brings that. It does give me that vibe. It depends. I feel like what happens with Pluto and Aquarius, and if humanity rises up. That's going to be like the big shift. So obviously, each time Pluto changes, it creates a movement. This is a complete shift. It doesn't always happen overnight. Like I said, it's a 20-year long transit with it in Aquarius.
And Pluto
It
in
moves very slowly, but
Pisces, yeah, and Pluto in Pisces would be for how long? Could you tell a little about that? 20 years or
um,
more than that? Because I'm seeing the
it'll be
number of years are increasing. Like for Pluto in
mhm.
Capricorn, it was somewhat,
It's like 15 years, I think. And I
okay.
think in Pisces,
And now
I think
this
in
one is
Pisces it's
20,
just over. Yeah, I
more,
think it's like 22, 23 years.
mm,
It'll be a bit longer.
longer. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so but and then there's shadow sides too, right? Like Pisces is I was talking about before, it's about escapism. Pisces rules drugs,
Hmm.
prisons, escapism and fantasy. So there are some humans who may lose their sense of self and the individual, like, who they are at the individual. There might even be new kinds of narcotics that come out. Um, and I just feel like, yeah, virtual reality may lead to escapism for a lot of these souls that are lost.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
yeah, in a more of like a shadow aspect of it.
And then the
And I
counter, how would that be? Like when the awareness rises, like this is too much, I don't want this kind of a life. But I guess it would be very few in number, right? Who really want to get lost in that kind of a world.
oh gosh, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, like I said, this is a time for healing. So Pisces is a water sign. This could be very interesting when we're switching from air to water, and like what could be happening with technology and like our energy sources, and then we're going into Pisces, like what could be happening with water, like our water resources, our healing modalities. So that's something to think about too. But yeah, Pisces is a lot about mental health
Hmm.
and therapy. So I think there's going to be an increase in therapies and healing retreats, spiritual retreats, just spiritual changes and growth, like mass potential for healing, geographical healing. The positive side is people like abstaining from alcohol and drugs, and just being still and seeking enlightenment. Um, is something that I hope happens, and that would be like a positive with Pluto and Pisces.
Hmm. Quite interesting. when it comes to the idea of enlightenment. Yeah, and Pisces being more of that spiritual sign. I think somewhere the
Yeah.
Piscean age was like gone into this idea of religion, but when this Pluto and Pisces happens, it would reveal a lot, something really profound.
It is. And I kind of like go, because, like I grew up going to Catholic school and I live in Canada. And, I'm not naive to a lot of the religious genocide that has happened. And I do think that, again, whenever Pluto changes signs, it reveals more crimes against humanity. Um, so, and like obviously there's going to be some truths that come out when it comes to religion is basically what I'm saying. I do think some things will
Yeah,
start to happen with Pluto and Aquarius when it comes to the Vatican and the Pope. um, just looking at like that astrology and his birth chart. But when we're talking about Pluto and Pisces, for sure,
yeah, that
it's
unfolding.
healing and there's truths coming out.
Yeah, yeah. I know there are deep, dark secrets in a lot of these structures. Yeah. Sometimes when I
Yeah.
like if I visit temples and all, like I've reduced a lot after a lot of this awakening process. And even when it is about temples and all, yes, they have been really beautiful centers of art and technology, like how pillars can be used to generate energy. These were the
Mm,
temples in the ancient Vedic days. And today, if I see it, it's more like a money box. And then it feels like, oh, even gods and goddesses are trapped in these structures. Even you all come out.
yeah.
So just
Yeah. It's
having
interesting that
that
you say that.
conversation.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Pluto and Pisces, I could definitely see that healing. Like I said, geographical healing. That might be not something that a lot of people realize is, yeah, like wherever you're living or these sites, these historical sites that you visit, need healing. And I can see a lot of beautiful humans doing rituals and starting to heal our land. Obviously, that's going to be like a final stage of everything. Is the healing not only for the people but for these sites in the land, because it's all about vibration, right? Everything has a frequency. And yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because I think that's going to happen with Pluto and Pisces. People are going to be going to these sites and we're going to, yeah, it's going to be like, yeah, people are
They're
going to
bringing
be
out the real essence of what these centers meant. And
yes.
we have 10 more minutes. So
Okay.
yeah, and that's what, like, I just added a bit of that humor, it just felt, looking at the way things are, it just felt like even the archetypal gods and goddesses are somehow trapped in that kind of materials, stone based way of doing things. So yeah, just showing a little compassion to the greater forces also.
Yeah.
Then it becomes like just a fun way of just asking questions to universe, like where are, like, if there are now in Indian culture they say we have 33 crores of gods and goddesses. They are names and archetypes, or energy archetypes. Then why don't they show up more prominently? That's where I have
Mhm.
started questioning, how are we really doing Indian spirituality or Indian Vedic lifestyle? Yeah. So certain
That's
things they work.
interesting.
Yeah, they work. But yeah, I've been that person, like, who questions all of this. And I have made quite a lot of changes, and my family also is looking at it slowly, where we have downsized on spending too much during festivals, and we have downside, and rather if there is surplus, uh, anything on that day, we would prefer donation over spending too much and having all the gala time, and more of meditation, more of a peaceful gathering. So
Mm-hmm.
when I had this conversation, and it manifested, I would say. Manifestation is a very common word these days. So yeah, it somehow
Mm-hmm.
manifested, and nowadays like last 1.5 years at least, me and my family, we celebrate festivals in a very peaceful way, not the way it was 10, 20 years ago, or like even till 2019, which was very much jazzy, overspending, excessive material. uh,
Mm.
that-
Yes, I totally can resonate with that in my own personal life for sure, right? Like your attachment to the material changes when you are, I don't even know how to describe it, like when I'm living in a more aligned way, I guess. And, you just realize all the programs that have been running and where your money is going to and what you actually want to spend on and what you need, right? Like I've sold so much stuff, like I don't need these things. They don't bring me joy anymore. That's not the kind of life that I'm wanting to live or teach my son. So we're changing our complete value system and yeah, our attachment to these things and realizing where we might have been like scammed a lot, like over here, obviously, like the Christmas holidays and stuff like that, like cutting way down on spending and buying so much like toys and wasted like plastic. It's not like, that's another thing. Like it's not sustainable for our environment to keep consuming and being so wasteful. So yeah, it's obviously something that I think a lot of people and a lot of families are going through.
yeah, let's make that happen. And last question, we have 5 more minutes to go. The last question for Pluto and Pisces. Will the religious grab hold dissolve? And how will our individual frequencies uh, shift to higher dimensions? How every
Wow.
individual can start shifting to elevating themselves.
Right. So, like I mentioned before, truths are going to come out around religion, and there's going to be like a more universal um,
Freedom
viewpoint
base.
of what, yeah, of what God is. And it might not even be religion. When it comes to Pluto and Pisces, I feel like that term will probably change because, you know, religion can, I don't know, it can be another, it could feel like another like program, and people are wanting healing. So we're probably going to want something different. And Pisces is all about faith in the unknown, and it does dissolve. So yes, you can absolutely imagine that it's going to dissolve a lot
That
when it
control,
comes to,
yeah, like the control of the
yes.
priests or pundits, and more of that. Um, yeah, it's like you have to do it this way kind of
Mm,
ideology. And
right.
yeah, and even in Indian culture, although there is mentions of goddesses and all the festivals like that, but I see on the same day people are disrespecting women. So practical spiritual implementation is not there in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is everywhere, right? We say so
Yeah.
much about festivals, religion, and all, but the practical implementation and the feminine essence is missing. And even in
Yeah, absolutely.
scriptures, yeah, even in scriptures, I see that like quite a lot of things are said that a man has to do like this, a woman should not do this. But then when I reversed and implemented on me, things changed, and it was big revelation, like accepting your menstrual flow and all of that. Yeah, quite a change.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can only imagine. I could not actually imagine some of the truths that will come out when Pluto is in Pisces when it comes to these religions, religious texts,
Yeah,
rituals, sacrifices. all sorts of, yeah, just faith in general. It's going to definitely um, destabilize that and create something new. And I guess I'm not sure exactly what that will look like, but the one thing when it comes to Pisces is it is a very like it does embody what love truly is. So in a positive light, I feel like it would be if humanity has reached this point where we've gone through our revolution and our healing, and we're now taking back our spirituality as well. This is like empowering ourselves through spirituality. That it's going to be based on love and compassion.
Absolutely. Wow, that's beautiful. And here it ended well, this conversation on a very beautiful note from your side. Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for taking out this time. And
Oh,
let's
thank
stay
you for having
connected.
me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I'll as well, if you could share your website link or Instagram link. Yes, I do have. Any other resources how people want to know about your work or reach out to you? You could share that so
Yeah.
that I'll add it in the
Thank you.
uh,
Yeah. I'm mostly on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. It is magnetic.mountain. But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm a new astrologer. So I just got started in the fall of 2022. So you can definitely find me on social media and reach out through my links or DMs if you have any questions or want to book a reading or just like chat astrology. I'm always down to talk about the stars.
all right. Okay then. So we'll wrap it up here. Have a good day
Thank
and
you
see you
so
soon.
much. See you soon.